Hello and welcome to Irish Football Fan TV. This is the after-match reaction. Republic of Ireland 1, Switzerland 1 at the Aviva Stadium. Were you surprised, I suppose, with the starting 11, Kieran?
No, I think realistically, because it's so early in the campaign, not so early, but you know what I mean, at this stage now with the team, I think he has a few people that he trusts in the squad that he has. I think he went with 4-3-3 and in a thought that Switzerland play 4-4-2, and I thought he was going to kind of overcrowd the middle of them and then play with a lot of width and depth. So you had the two wide men, obviously Robinson and McLean, to push up high and wide, and then the two wing backs to kind of dominate possession of the game. But obviously that's not how it worked out in the end. So yeah, no, I wasn't that surprised. What about you?
No, I mean, if you go to our starting 11 show, that was actually the team we picked, the full team. We actually picked them. We actually said that Alan Judge was going to come on at some point. Anyway, we'll kind of come to that. But just to talk about the first half, I mean, there wasn't any real chances. I know. I mean, there was a clean chance down this end where he just kind of seemed to get the ball stuck under his feet and couldn't finish, unfortunately. And you know, other than that, we didn't really have it. We had that one time where McGoldrick skipped past one of their defenders. I think it was their left back, and I think he had a bit more time than he realised. He tried to whip it across to Callum Robinson, which is probably the right idea. But I just think if he was a bit more greedy and had a bit more composure, he probably could have got a chance in, and it went across the keeper, and maybe the keeper parries it to Robinson. But it's one of those what-if moments, you know. But going into I thought, going to half time, I thought we finished the half slowly. Like I did think, like, you could see some of our players haven't been playing properly. Like Howard, and he went off in the second half. But I remember saying to us, it's like Glenn Whelan didn't look fit in the first half. Now, whatever, he took a half time to keep him going. Fair play to him, because we'll get to that in a sec. But I just think, in regards to our overall first half performance, I mean, we were compact. We were just trying to make ourselves hard to beat, but we didn't really create anything of note. Then we kind of, I suppose, opened it up in the second half, and that's kind of where you kind of picked on there. Mick kind of changed it up in the second half.
Yeah, well.
So how would you pick out that you changed that?
Well, at the start of the game, I think he has to be commended. People talk about Ireland being very negative and things like that. Like at the start, you could see he pushed up the wingers and the wing backs up behind and wide. So he's obviously had the idea that we're going to press them, we're going to create loads of space and play penetrating passes through. In the first 5 minutes, we did have a little bit of the ball, but then what was happening was when we were losing the ball, the two centre backs were getting stranded, and we did have one really good chance. They had one very good chance in the counter attack or transition where Duffy blocked the attack, and that's one thing we were really good at today, was in transition. Anytime we lost the ball in their half and they were countering, we always seemed to break it up. But I think he recognised that they were stranded, so he says, right, we can't do it, and took them in. At the end of the first half, like you were saying, like it was getting slow, but I think he thought to put it back to 4-4-2 and have the two wide men tuck right in, because what they were doing was, even though they were 4-4-2, when they had the ball, the two fullbacks were tucking in like an extra two centre midfielders. So instead of us having 3 against 2 in our favour in centre midfield, it was now becoming a 4 against 3. And we were really struggling because they were changing. They were.
Yeah, sorry, go on.
Because they were interchanging their position. So even when a striker was coming and picking up the ball deep, the fullback that was after tucking in was then replacing him as a striker. So it was so hard for the Irish players to pick up on that. The second half, I think what he did, he just kind of he went back to 4-3-3, but I think he just had the two wide men kind of one wide man tuck right in to make it a 4-4, and then one up front and kind of one wide man in the second half. And look, we spent loads of time without the ball in the first half, but we only needed that little spell, especially with this crowd behind us. We only need that little spell behind us.
Yeah, but I did think we rolled our luck a couple of times. There was a couple of clearances off the line that were brilliant, like Alan Judge's header at the back post. Seamus Coleman had one, he did as well. Enda Stevens actually made a really good interception. You know, if that was Virgil van Dijk, everyone would be talking about it, like he did against Spurs last year with Sissoko and Harry Kane. I think it was Harry Kane, but it was two players anyway, and he broke up the players because it was 2-on-1 with Enda Stevens, and he managed to break up the play. And that, like, all these, I suppose, blocks and interceptions were crucial in the end if you kind of look at it back.
It was, yeah. They were carving us open at times, and it wasn't really when they were counter-attacking, it was when we were sitting and they were passing the ball about. We couldn't seem to, because it's very hard to mark people when they're changing each other's positions, and they were creating overloads everywhere, 3v2 in the wide area, 3v2 there. Then the two centre-backs, the two strikers were standing right in the centre-backs, so if one moved and made a run, Duffy's thinking, do I follow him now? And he was following him, and then someone was coming in the centre and the centre midfielder, and then Glenn Whelan had to follow. So we were literally waiting. The time we could only intercept the ball was literally the very last chance when they were right through.
Well, let's talk about their goal, because you're talking about kind of them pushing people forward and stuff. What did you think of the goal? I thought it was a very good goal, a very worked goal. I mean, it was a lot of one-touch passes, and then Shah gets in. A tidy finish, leaves Dan Randolph with no chance. At that point I was thinking, oh no, here we go. What were your thoughts?
Yeah, same, like when a move is made like that in centre midfield, especially when there's more players than ours, and it's one touch, there's very little you can do, like, do you know what I mean? Except just stay as compact as you can. But I was the same, really. You know, it's one of those things, especially in Ireland, like if we're playing someone anyway mediocrely good and the goal goes down, and you could already think of like the headlines that are going to be out the next day, like people getting very negative in that. I think it's more so because we didn't really create anything up until that point. There's nothing for the crowd to get behind us for.
Yeah, well, we could see we're trying to do stuff, but nothing was really coming off. I think the telling point, I suppose, was when Scott Hogan came on and Alan Judge, who liked to get on the ball and do stuff. And I thought as soon as, it wasn't long after Hogan came on, we obviously got our goal, but I thought he was causing bits of problems. And I do think an important bit of play that maybe might go unnoticed was the bit where they were through on goal and McLean broke his bollocks basically to get back and win the ball back. And not long after that, we were up the other end. Glenn Whelan thunders a ball off the crossbar. Imagine that had went in. Shades of when he scored that goal against Buffon all those years ago. But then obviously McLean whips in the ball. Then not long after winning the ball, whips in the ball, and McGoldrick runs off. And the crowd at that point, that's the atmosphere we need back all the time. It was intimidating for them, I was getting the shivers just sitting here, because you could feel the players were starting to we were on the front foot then. We finished the game strongly, much like Denmark. We finished the game, it seems to be when we're a goal up though, we always have to goal down. That's when we start to play. It's like we're afraid to go at them just in case we concede that goal. But once we've conceded the goal, we go all out and actually tend to play better than the opposition, right? Well, not probably overall, but we finished the game very, very strongly there. The day were backing off us, I felt.
I think like you were saying, for the crowd to get behind us, because in the second half they had so much of the ball, I think it was hard for a cheer to come out, because we hadn't even had really even a decent cross. Do you know what I mean?
Sense, yeah.
But like you said there, like I said earlier, the best part of our game today was in transition. Every time they won the ball in their half and they were counter-attacking us, just like that time you said, over the top, whatever it was, we always won the ball back, and obviously McLean won it back. We got it. I think it was almost Hoban that set past it out in front of Glenn Whelan, I think. I could be wrong now, or maybe it was McGoldrick, but
I think it was David McGoldrick.
Yeah, and then as soon as the goal went in, then you just like, we can just now win this now. I mean, it's just the atmosphere.
And it felt like we were actually going to go and win the game, because like 5 minutes before that we were all thinking, oh no, here we go, But overall, I think it's a fantastic point now, and we're still unbeaten. We're still top of the group, and I suppose Mick McCarthy's been taking a lot of stick, and he's still unbeaten. He's still got a great record in Lansdowne Road, Aviva, whatever you want to way of looking at it.
Yeah, and Denmark are 3 points behind us. They've a better goal difference, but they're playing away to Georgia in the next game, so that could be very tough for them. That's their game in hand.
We've obviously got our friendly against Bulgaria, which is not a nothing match really. It's just a friendly.
And then Switzerland are playing Gibraltar, which should probably win, and they've 2 games in hand. But even if Switzerland, unless they score a lot of goals and they win the 2 games, they're still only going to be level on points with us. So we're in a very comfortable position. Like, not comfortable, but we're in a very good position going into the second half of our games. Then.
And I think as well, I think the Bulgaria game is going to be more of a chance for to play players like, I don't know, maybe Jack Byrne or who missed out tonight, or Josh Cullen or something like that. But we'll speak about that in the final word and so on. But overall, happy with the point? I am. Yeah,
of course. I'm delighted. Looking at the way the game was going, you know what I mean. It's just that one goal just completely changed the face of everyone. You know what I mean? It just lifted everyone. You know what I mean? You see people here in the media section, like getting up and just screaming, like, you know. So, yeah, of course, you have to be happy because we stay top. With the games in hands of the teams below us, even if they win them, they're still the same amount of points as us. So
next month's going to be the telling point, realistically, the away games and stuff. But that's been our after-match reaction. Very positive here. Let us know your thoughts in the comments. We are happy. Do you think we could have won it? We should have won it, or do you think we should have gotten beaten or rode our luck at times? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. As always, don't forget to drop a like on the video and don't forget to subscribe. Thanks very much for watching, and we'll speak to you soon.